After a number of days of record-breaking high temperatures across the Dakotas and Minnesota, we're now on our way down. We're going to be having some cold, rainy, windy days. We've got some frost advisories out there. Likely some areas are going to get to below freezing, and we're even going to talk a little bit about some of that white stuff falling. So we continue to have some moisture left over across the North Country here. And we've got this next little system that's diving down out of Canada, going to be pulling in plenty of cold air behind it along with it as it continues to dive southward. We're likely going to be starting off the day on Thursday with some strong west-northwest winds across North Dakota with gusts 40, 45, maybe even some isolated 50 as we go a little bit later into the day, especially across North Dakota. Now, those wind gusts obviously will spread into Minnesota, South Dakota as well, as that cold air continues to dive southeastward. And we continue to have this low pressure system a little bit further to the north. We've got another cold front sweeping southward, and along with that, kind of behind it as well, we continue to have this rain showers that's going to be across northern parts of North Dakota, northern Minnesota, especially starting off the day on Thursday. As we go a little bit later, some of those showers, maybe a few claps of thunder, will spread down to the southeast throughout the daytime hour as that cold front continues to kind of sweep southeastward and bringing in obviously just more and more colder air behind it, gustier winds. So it's not going to be a very pleasant day, especially across eastern parts of North Dakota, northern Minnesota, where we're looking at the rain, we're looking at the wind and the cold air filtering in. Yeah, look at this, guys. We've got a little bit of blue coming in out of Canada, a little bit of snow possibly mixing in with the rain Thursday night into Friday morning, probably in the central parts of North Dakota, maybe kind of stretching down into northeastern parts of South Dakota as we get a little bit more so into the Friday morning time frame. Now, obviously, our surface temperatures are still quite warm. We've just had record-breaking warm temperatures here, so our ground temperatures are still plenty warm, so we're really not expecting anything to accumulate, obviously, but nevertheless, look at this. I mean, we've got perhaps our first little snowfall for the season coming in Thursday night and into Friday morning. Now, obviously, as things warm up Friday morning and into early Friday afternoon, whatever's left over will be just in the form of rain showers. And then that system expected to finally move off more so Friday night into Saturday by the time we get rid of what's left of some of this moisture. Now, the Bismarck National Weather Service has issued a freeze watch in effect from late Thursday evening through Friday morning. Looking at low temperatures Friday morning as low as 25 possible. Mainly, again, as you take a look at where these blue areas are in the west and north central parts of North Dakota. Frost and freezing conditions could kill crops and other sensitive vegetation. So just keep that in mind, and I would expect some of this to perhaps expand or be carried over more so into a Friday night and into Saturday morning. We could see more of these advisories pop up, especially across northeast and North Dakota and northern Minnesota. And the National Weather Service out of Duluth had put out this graphic earlier today. I shared it across some of my social media streams. But look for Friday night and into Saturday morning. You could see where the more widespread area of frost is expected to occur in some of these areas across the Arrowhead region of Minnesota. And then Saturday night into Sunday morning, not quite as much, not quite as widespread as temperatures begin to rebound just a little bit once we get to Saturday night and into Sunday. But some of these areas, obviously, we're looking at some frost and some freezing conditions going into the weekend. Now, I mentioned earlier those winds on Thursday are going to be quite strong out of the west-northwest, and it looks like as we get into Friday, that's going to continue. We're going to be seeing those strong west-northwesterly winds gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour. But look at this. Once we get into Friday evening, those winds begin to diminish just a little bit, and then as we continue on into the nighttime hours, Friday night and into Saturday morning, those winds will diminish completely, and we're actually looking like not too bad for the remainder of the weekend. Perhaps some gusts 20 to 25 here and there throughout the day on Saturday, and a little bit again on Sunday. But other than that, not too bad. So Thursday, Friday look to be the real windy days. Now, beyond this weekend, it does look like it's going to warm up a little bit. We're not going to be stuck in quite this cold of temperatures, as we've got another ridge set to move out of the mountain west and into our region eventually. It's going to take a little bit of time for this area to eventually move off to the east. And the models are disagreeing and having a hard time trying to figure out exactly how to go about doing this. But we do look for temperatures to warm up a little bit as we go through next week. It's just going to be a matter of how warm will we get. That still looks to be a little more up in the air than I was thinking earlier. So I think we're going to have to kind of wait and hold off and see exactly how some of this is going to develop. But nevertheless, we are in for at least a little bit of a warm up. Our daytime temperatures should be a little more comfortable. So once we get beyond Saturday, it looks like we don't really have much in the way of precipitation other than maybe some isolated showers across Minnesota to start the week next week. But other than that, our next best chance looks to be more so coming in next weekend. And we'll just kind of have to wait and see how that storm pans out. So we'll take a little closer look at that once we get closer to that time frame. So there you go, a cold, rainy, windy end of the week, and maybe even a little bit of that white stuff falling, unfortunately. But like I said, the good news is it shouldn't last for long. Some of our daytime temperatures should rebound as we get into next week. All right, everybody, for Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Werner, and everybody have a good day.